Singapore is a nation that has undergone an extraordinary transformation throughout its history, evolving from a small fishing village to one of the most modern and advanced cities in the world. Its story is marked by struggles, conflicts, and an unwavering determination to overcome adversity, making it a unique example of resilience and innovation. The story of Singapore begins centuries ago at the heart of Southeast Asia. The earliest known mention of the island dates back to the 1300s, when it was known as Temasek, meaning sea town. During this time, the island was an important hub for maritime trade, a strategic position that would define it for centuries to come. According to a local legend, a prince named Sang Nila Utama from the Srivijaya Empire discovered the island during a sea voyage in the 14th century. He is said to have seen an animal that he believed was a lion, and inspired by this vision, he named the island Singapura, which means Lion City in Sanskrit, though historians later concluded that lions probably never lived on the island. The name stuck, and it became a symbol of strength and courage for the island. For the next few centuries, Singapore's fate ebbed and flowed with the tides of history. It became part of the Malacca Sultanate in the 15th century, a golden age of trade and cultural exchange in the region. However, Singapore's prominence began to fade after the Portuguese conquered Malacca in 1511. By the 17th century, it had become a forgotten outpost, overshadowed by larger and more powerful trading centers. The once bustling port of Temasek had fallen silent, its glory days seemingly lost to time. But Singapore's story was far from over. Its fortunes began to change dramatically in the early 19th century, when Sir Stamford Raffles arrived on the island. In 1819, Raffles, an ambitious British official working for the East India Company, recognized Singapore's potential as a vital trading hub. At the time, the British were seeking to strengthen their presence in Southeast Asia to counter the growing influence of the Dutch. Raffles struck a deal with the local rulers, the Sultan of Johor and the Temenggung of Singapore, to establish a British settlement on the island. Under Raffles' vision, Singapore was transformed into a free port, attracting traders and immigrants from across Asia and beyond. The population grew rapidly, with Chinese, Indian, Malay, and Arab communities settling on the island, each bringing their unique cultures, traditions, and skills. By the mid-19th century, Singapore had become one of the busiest ports in the world, known for its free trade policies and bustling economy. The island's diversity became one of its defining features, creating a rich tapestry of languages, religions, and customs. However, life in colonial Singapore was not without challenges. While the economy flourished, the working conditions for many immigrants were harsh. Coolies, or laborers from China, toiled long hours in tin mines and on plantations, while others worked on the docks or in construction. Despite these hardships, Singapore continued to grow, its skyline dotted with shophouses, markets, and the occasional Grand Colonial building. The dawn of the 20th century brought both opportunity and turmoil to Singapore. The island's strategic location made it a key military outpost for the British, and in 1938, the British constructed the massive naval base at Sembawang, dubbing it the Gibraltar of the East. But this sense of security was shattered during World War II. In 1942, Singapore fell to the Japanese in one of the most devastating defeats in British history. The Japanese occupation was a dark period marked by suffering, fear, and hardship for the people of Singapore. When the war ended in 1945, Singapore returned to British rule. But the island had changed forever. The post-war years were marked by political awakening and a growing desire for independence. Strikes, protests, and demands for better living conditions became common as Singaporeans sought to take control of their own destiny. In 1959, Singapore achieved self-governance, with Lee Kuan Yew becoming its first prime minister. Lee Kuan Yew was a charismatic and determined leader who believed in Singapore's potential to rise above its challenges. Under his leadership, Singapore joined Malaysia in 1963, hoping that the union would bring greater economic and political stability. However, the marriage was short-lived. Deep-seated differences between Singapore and Malaysia, culturally, politically, and economically, led to tensions. In 1965, Singapore was expelled from the Union, becoming an independent nation. The separation was a moment of uncertainty and fear for Singapore. The island was small, with no natural resources, limited land, and a diverse population that had to learn to live together. But Lee Kuan Yew and his team refused to give up. They focused on building a strong economy, fostering harmony among communities, and investing in education and infrastructure. Over the next few decades, Singapore underwent a remarkable transformation. Through careful planning and visionary leadership, it became a global powerhouse known for its efficiency, innovation, and prosperity. Today, Singapore stands as a shining example of what a nation can achieve through resilience, determination, and a commitment to excellence. Its skyline, dotted with iconic landmarks like Marina Bay Sands and Gardens by the Bay, tells the story of a nation that dared to dream big. From its humble beginnings as a small fishing village, Singapore grew to become a world leader in business, technology, and tourism. Its government implemented policies that emphasized economic development, education, and sustainability, turning the city into a model of modernity. The country became a financial hub, attracting multinational companies, skilled workers, and entrepreneurs. Singapore's economy continued to grow at an impressive rate, making it one of the wealthiest nations in the world. The transformation didn't stop with the economy. Singapore also prioritized the well-being of its people, offering quality healthcare, efficient public transportation, and a clean and green environment. The city became known for its strict laws and efficient public systems, making it one of the safest and most orderly places in the world.